Welcome, you're watching the Wild Horses channel, the one-stop shop if you're a long-term investor and safer is better in cryptocurrencies. Here we cover the main coins, their technologies and possibilities, the first steps if you're starting in this market, what to expect from the markets and what's going on in the news. In today's episode of the Weekend Review, we cover for you the American and Chinese banks and the repo market. We also will pass through the weekly charts of the main coins. So stay tuned, we're starting right now. We start with the Capital One in United States, where they had an issue this week that prevented their clients to accessing their funds temporarily. We remind you that in July this bank was hacked and data from about 100,000 clients that applied for loans since 2005 were hacked. So we stay tuned and we watch out for such things. If it is a one-time event, it is okay, although it's very rare to happen, especially when it implies that clients cannot have access to their funds. Also, if other banks starting to have similar issues, that's something else behind. Also, later on, we see here in US Watchdog episode, Greg Hunter interviewing Michael Pento from Pento Portfolios, and in his view, the issues in the repo market are due to the problems in the low tranches of their collateral, namely the junk bonds. And banks are not accepting them as collateral because they know there's something in it. And that's something serious. And the solution is that the Federal Reserve intervene in this market of supplying liquidity. Otherwise, the repo rate climbs up, as we saw, till 10%. So stay tuned. If this problem is not contained and if this problem does not go away, it's gonna get bigger and uglier. So stay tuned. In our channel, we'll be covering this, of course, from always sources that are reliable and publicly available. And moving on to China, we have an issue recently this week where we had a bank run in a provincial bank. That's not a main bank, it's a medium bank, and that's precisely the type of banks that were most exposed to the so-called shadow banking, which is a banking system parallel, unregulated, composed by non-financial institutions that also enter in the credit market from the most possible variable ways. And this market, because it's unregulated, it's very difficult to measure the size and the length and the extent of the damage of their operations. So when such companies fail, have problems, have non-performing loans, this affect the banks that lended them the money, and that's precisely the medium to small banks in provinces. And when these banks fail, then you start contamination in the financial sector. Still early to say that, but the point is, the last time these things happen, we are far away in time. So stay tuned. It might be something happen, it might not, but there's always negative when this goes on. And finally, we enter here now in the markets this week of the cryptos, what was going on, what happened, and we start here by the main coin. So we'll review with you Bitcoin in Tether. As you see here, prices from Binance weekly chart, we are in an uptrend. There was a downtrend that was broken last week. We remain above it. It's the first time we closed 2 weeks above it, and that for us is an uptrend signal. So we still need to confirm going above the 10K, especially 10K 500. That's a very important mark that we should cross above, and we couldn't in last week. So we need to cross them over to confirm the uptrend, and then prices are free to go in our way. Moving on, we see Ethereum. Ethereum still have not woke up. It's still under $200 and it needs to cross up that mark, especially 220, to be above that blue uptrend line to confirm that it's going up again. Now, we see that it has been always delayed in their moves compared to Bitcoin. So it might take a few more weeks until it does this move, but that move is coming in our way. We do not see Bitcoin exploding and Ethereum remaining sleeping. On the Repo went back to its support line this week. It has lost it some 2 months ago when Bitcoin made that dive, and now it's struggling to be above it. It should. Once it does, it has free path until the 40 cents the dollar. It has difficulty to cross that line up. It might need huge volume to do it. So once it touches it, it's likely to move back. If it's gonna move back to the 30 cents again, which is a new test in this white line support, we don't know, but what we believe is that with the current volume, it has zero chance to crossing it up. That's our view. Moving on to Litecoin. Litecoin still above $60. It should cross the $60 up to show that it wiped out its downtrend. Again, we don't see Bitcoin exploding and Litecoin remaining under 60, but as far as Bitcoin does not explode, it's very likely that Litecoin will remain under 60, and we do not have a certainty that it will break up this line in blue, which is the uptrend line, and confirm that is moving up. So as far as Litecoin is under 60, it's not a buy in our way. We do not give recommendation, we do not give financial advice, but we believe that the uptrend in Litecoin, in our opinion, will start as long as it crosses the $60 up. So stay tuned. So we are. And moving on to Bitcoin Cash, what we see here is that it lost an important support in 280, was able to recover it recently, and it needs now to break it up. Now, if we notice, it lost it with much less volume that it took to recover it, and that shows us an momentum up. And that momentum might take it to 320, whereas we see it going in the next few weeks. And once it reached that, if Bitcoin has not yet reached the 10K, it's likely to move back or at least remain at this level. Once it breaks up, then yes, the breaks up above 320, then it has a go in our view. Again, we do not give financial advice or recommendations of buy or sell of any asset, but that's our view. And if you look back in the charts, that's not going here beyond November last year, Bitcoin Cash has reached $4,000 or 4,000 tethers, as you prefer. Of course, they're not the same. Tether is not backed by anything but the fate of the market, although it claimed to be a stable coin. And the fact that it's stable is just a mercy of the market, not a competence of the issuers. Anyway, there is room to reach the $4,000. So of course it needs to pass first by the 320. So we cannot see the top shown in this graphic as the uppermost peak. There are peaks that are above that. So that's put some confidence in the long term in this coin. Personally, it's not our preferred one, but it has shown a resilience in the price that others, for example, like Litecoin, has not shown so far. And that's it. We finish with EOS. EOS has a fight in the 3.60, 3.75 in the coming weeks, and once it breaks it up, then it has open path to the $4 and $5. Now, to do so, it will need, of course, at least the first tranche here in the 375. We will need Bitcoin at least above 9.4K. Without that, in no way we see EOS going up, although we see it much devalued, but that will happen and you can follow through. Especially Ethereum should be above the 220 and you will see EOS above the 375. That's our opinion. That was our analysis for today. Thank you very much. Don't forget to sign up to our channel and activate the notifications so you're informed of next videos like this one. Our next episode tomorrow, everything moving well. It's analysis of Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash more in depth. Hope to see you there. Thank you very much. Bye.